I've always wanted to make a video game, but making a game is hard, man. Too hard for me. So instead, I thought I'd try my hand at making the most fun part of a game, the combat system. The idea I have is for the player to be able to fight their enemies without using any weapons. Instead, they'll telekinetically move objects around to deal damage. So let me show you how I turned this simple idea into something a bit more fun. So anyway, I started prototyping it, and check this out. You can pick up and toss an object. Nice. But to be honest, it's a bit lacking, so I added an enemy to hit and the ability to pick up more objects. It's kind of fun to try and juggle the objects without letting them hit the ground. Next, I added the ability for enemies to die and chase you around, though at the moment the enemies will die if they touch one of the objects, which is very dramatic. I also toyed with the idea of a ranged enemy being able to catch their bullets. Yeah! This was a cool idea that didn't make it into the final thing, as the scope just kind of kept creeping up and up for this small prototype, because eventually I'll have to refine all these ideas. Okay, so it was about time I got rid of the ugly default Unreal character, so I replaced it with this one from Mixamo. God damn, look at that, that's looking nice. Professional. I was also finding it tedious to move my mouse all over the place to pick up objects, so I added this functionality which automatically grabs a bunch of objects without you having to aim at them and orbits them around the character. It's amazing that adding a few small changes can add a lot more polish, because man, it looked like crap before. I was also finding it a bit annoying to manually aim at the enemies, so I added a lock-on system to do it for me. Let me show you a bit about how it works. Basically, when I try and lock on, I shoot a big ball from the camera, and if it hits an enemy, the camera and character will always face it. When I switch targets, the system will calculate how much the camera would have to rotate to look at each enemy, and the enemy with the smallest rotation in the desired direction will become the new target. This didn't actually end up being used very much, but oh well, I learned something. It's good enough for me. With the lock-on system and easy pickup system in place, I started trying out some combo ideas, so I added the ability to fire all the objects which haven't hit the ground yet at an enemy. So the idea would be to try and build up a bunch of floating objects so that you could take out a high health enemy in one shot. I kinda liked this idea, but I wanted some more options. So I added two other attacks, a basic attack which shoots an object at an enemy without needing to grab the object first, but it has a longer cooldown than if you shot the objects whilst holding them. The other thing I added was the option to shoot all the floating objects at random enemies instead of them being all targeted at one. With this done, I kind of had all the pieces in place, so I spent a bit of time making VFX, adding enemy spawners, enemy health, and this is what I ended up with. Is it fun? It's probably about as fun as punching a child. You feel cool and powerful at first, but you get bored after a while because there's no challenge. This is of course due to the enemies not being able to attack and having no creative solutions to their attacks, etc. But I also feel like there are more creative ways to explore the idea of telekinetic combat. So next time I have a stab at it, I'd like to take on your ideas, so please be sure to comment and let me know if you have any cool ideas on how to beat people up with telekinesis, and I'll do my best to create your ideas in another video. But for now, I'll leave it here, so I'll see you in the next one. Thank you!